Happy 2026, everyone. This is Kathy with McCrafty Studio, and I am coming on with a little bit of a stitching update as well as my 2026 plans. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I had a couple of full finishes. I had run across some previous stitches. I think I showed a few of them in my last video, and I did get a couple fully framed. The first one I framed was his hands. This was a kit. It was a Janlynn Kit. I finished stitching this in 2004. I was organizing and going through a few things, and I got this framed. I picked out the frame from Hobby Lobby. I did frame this myself, but I think the molding and the picture just make a great combination. So I'm really pleased with this, and I'm really excited to get this finally on my wall after all those years. So this is my first full finish. And my second full finish is, I think this is called Floral Bouquet. And this was an Elsa Williams kit, and I finished stitching this in 2001. So that's the date that I had stitched. But I also got this frame from Hobby Lobby, and I think this one turned out fabulous as well. And next up, I had one finished stitch. It was an ornament. It's called Cardinal Couple. It's by Stitching with the Housewives. This is a bonus chart. She came out with some roundabouts in November of 2025, and there were a couple of them that had swans on them and two of them that had cardinals. So I picked up the cardinal ones because I love cardinals, and then one of these charts came with that bonus, which I just showed. But I am in the process of stitching these two as well. I already have a finishing idea for that. So that is my only finished stitch since the last time I saw you. So now I'm going to go ahead and go over some of my stitches. And I'm still working on this one. Let me kind of get organized here. I have a work stitch, and I'm doing a Mill Hill kit. It's called A Stitch in Time. And I've stitched everything but placing the beads. So I won't do the bead work at work. I brought this home to finish it up. So hopefully that'll be a full finish for the next, finished stitched at least, in my next floss tube or two. Since I finished stitching that, I did start another one. It's a smaller kit. It's a Mill Hill kit as well, and it's just old-fashioned. The beads are kind of flopping there. Sorry for the glare. And my progress on that is right there. So I'm almost done stitching this particular one. It's a small piece. It's a quick stitch, and then it also has beads as well. So I'll be bringing that piece home once that is finished stitching. I participated in the Jingle Ball, and I started the Pears. I didn't get those done, but anyway, this is what they look like. And I started this on 36 count malachite, and then I'm using a Belsois silk called Heirloom Lace, and I have that one. I have been working on my Halsingland Blommor, which is a modern folk embroidery. I was hoping to have this done before the end of the year. I quite didn't make it, but it will get finished. I'll finish stitching it in 2026. But I did finish the fourth corner. I think this is going to turn out really cool. So there's my progress on my modern folk embroidery. I still had a little bit of the Christmas bug, the Christmas stitching bug, and I started, well, I finished, I'm talking about the mini snowflake ornaments from Counting Puddles. And I started the second ornament. I finished the first one, which I think I showed the last time, and then I started the second one over here. I'm also still very much into my flower stitching. So I've been working on Summer Garden by Birds of a Feather. It's been re-released by Sherry, the Colorado cross stitcher. And I almost have the border done. And I'm doing this on a 32 count fabric. The kit came with a 40 count fabric, but I wanted mine a little bit bigger. I haven't decided how I'm going to finish this. I don't know if I'm going to finish it as a pillow or if I'm going to frame it. So we'll see once I get that finished. But that is my progress on Summer Bouquet. And I'm just using the called for threads for that particular pattern. I can't remember if I showed, I think the last time I showed this, I only had that first row done. It's called the Quaker Medallion by Hello from Liz Mathews. And I started the second row of letters with the letter K. Didn't bring my clips, should go get them. But that is my progress on the Quaker Medallion. I had a few new starts. I started the Quaker house stocking and sampler. I'm gonna just do the sampler, this long, narrow piece. And this is my start. And this is going to be stitched with, this is on a 40 count angel hair fabric, and I'm really enjoying this stitch. So I also had a Christmas Day start. I decided to start the 2025 Fox and Rabbit mystery sampler. This is what it looks like. You can still get this. I believe you have to pay for it now. You had until, I think, midnight on December 31st to download the pattern, but it is still available. And then this is my start. I'm going to do a monochromatic, but I'm doing mine in green. So that is my start for that. I also started my birthday start, which I mentioned. It was going to be the Sparkling Peacock Mandala. It's by a Chatelaine. It is my only Chatelaine. We'll see how this turns out if I order another one. She does have some really, she just has some really beautiful patterns. I believe it's her daughter that still publishes those, but anyway, here is my minimal start. It's just that center part of the medallion. I also, I can't remember if I worked on this or not. It's Wild Rose Lane. And I'm just stitching the house portion. And here is my progress. I started the house, but again, I can't remember if I had this much progress the last time I showed it or not, but it is going to be part of my 2026 plans. I had a New Year's new start, and it is Lady of the Flag. I had a friend of mine who was generous enough to let me borrow the pattern, so I started this. I'm starting this on there's a lint on here. I did mine on a 32 count forget-me-not. Kind of makes it look like a sky, but I started with the flag. And think it's gonna look really cool. I also, with the Jingle Ball, this will be going into my Jingle Ball purchases. There were several designers that had released some patterns, and one of them was Midnight Santa Stocking by Teresa Kogut. And I think that guy is just so cute. And I got a start on this, very minimal start. And I'm doing mine 1/1 on 28 count, so it's equivalent to 56 count linen. So anyway, I haven't decided if I'm going to make it into a stocking or if I'm going to just kind of make it into like a long sampler. I'm not really sure, but I'm liking the progress. I'm also stitching this on a 28 count chimney by Red Thicket. And I thought it was the perfect linen for that particular piece. So I'm gonna go into some of my purchases that I got from the Jingle Ball. Just a few. And then I will go into some of my plans. I did get Joyful Stitches. It's a hands-on design kit. It's a cute little ornament. Kiss Kiss Mistletoe by Robin Pickens. I did get 3 Snowmen by Primrose Cottage Stitches. I got Snowman 2023, Snowman 2024, Snowman 2025. Another pattern that I got was the Gingerbread House Sewing Book by Stacy Nash. This is the pattern I believe she had for the 2024 Jingle Ball. And there's the back. It's really cute. And then she also had another, it was the Christmas Townhouse Sewing Book. And then the back, which is really cute. I really love this pattern. It's by Hands On Design. It was Gather Round the Manger. And I'll be making those into ornaments. Sorry for the glare. But I didn't want to take it out of the plastic. I did buy Quilted Mini Trees by Hello from Liz Mathews. I will be making those into ornaments. I also ordered a couple of other patterns from Robin Pickens. It was the Scandi Holiday. This was only available through the Jingle Ball. I also got Winter as the Courier Duo. I'm not sure if she has all 4 out or not. I don't think so. Another Primrose Cottage, and it was the Winter Rules. Super cute with all the snowmen. And then another kit, or pattern rather, not kit, was Frosty Pals by Teresa Kogut. I also I didn't mean to order 2 of these, the Jingle Ball Baubles. And this is what the patterns look like. They're different ornaments, one from each of the designers that were participating in the Jingle Ball. And so I've decided I'm going to do one as a giveaway. You have to be 18 for me to get your address. And then to be entered in the drawing, it's Jingle Ball Bauble. I don't know. Maybe I should just use Bauble. I'll just use Bauble. So if you use Bauble in your comment, I will put you in the drawing for this particular book. Also, a good thing is that there's not too many subscribers, and so your chances of winning are rather high if you're interested in that. The other things that I purchased, I ordered some fabric. This is Harvest Moon by Forbidden Fiber Co. I believe this one is a 40 count. It's a really pretty gray. To go in my stash. I also got a really beautiful purple-ish fabric. It's called Sepia Sorcery. It's a 40 count, and it is a beautiful fabric, or I think it's a beautiful fabric. So, very pretty, very nice. And then the fabric that I ordered for the Pears was from Bestitch Me, and I ordered Cardinal. However, I'm using a different fabric, but I am keeping this in my stash. This is a 36 count Cardinal. It's a beautiful red. And then the other fabric I got was Cobbler, and this also is a 36 count by Bestitch Me. Also a beautiful, beautiful fabric. And then they had a colorway for the Jingle Ball, and it was by Lap and Loops. Lap and Loops is one of my favorite dyers, and this was called Jingle All the Way. It was the 2025 colorway. It's a beautiful, beautiful green. So those are my purchases for the Jingle Ball. I also purchased some new patterns. Cobweb Corner is retiring, and so she has a sale going on in her shop, so you might want to check her out. She has threads. I mean, she doesn't have all the threads, but you know, I mean, she's trying to close out her business. But I would definitely check her out. I did purchase this pattern. Sorry for the crinkle, but I'm trying to move the threads. But this is by Glendon Place, and it's called Simply Love, and it came with the Dinky Dye flosses. Dinky Dye silks, rather. It's not. And I thought that was a beautiful pattern. And then a little bit of spring by Blackbird Designs. I feel like all of this is kind of precarious. It's going to fall off. And then a few other patterns. Because I started the Lady of the Flag, I'm kind of, I really enjoy, I really like her patterns. So I ordered, I think this is called, what is she called? Andromeda. She's really pretty. And then I got the bead set to go with that as well. Also from Cobweb Corner, I got Noel in blue. I already have a finishing piece for this. It's called Friendship Garden. It's by Heart and Hand. I got the 1 Nickel Needles by Shakespeare's Peddler. I also purchased Mother's Garden by Blackbird Designs. I just think this is a really cool pattern. I think when I do it, I'm not going to put that part there. That's just where I'm going to be stitching to. I also collect nativity stockings, so I didn't have this one, and I got it's called Nativity Stocking. It's by Stony Creek. I love Rosewood Manor, and I got the Lacy Cottage sampler. However, when I stitch this, I'm only going to do basically just this part right here. I just think it's really cool. I also, all of these are starting to fall down. I also purchased the Village Sampler by the Prairie Schooler. And again, this came from Cobweb Corner, and she has everything on sale because she's retiring. Then there's the Mrs. Santa's Sampler. This is stand up. I just thought she was super cute. I also got Santa, Sampler Santa. And then I got the Hoot and a Boot. And again, I thought that was super cute with the cat and everything with the pumpkins, and it's very cute. And then the last one I got was the little Christmas blessings. So I will be making these into ornaments. So I think those are really cute as well. I also splurged and got a binder kind of project bag situation, and it's by Threadgood Vibes. She's on Etsy, and I just love this. And it's super colorful. It's tulip pink, and I ordered it without the vinyl. I'm not a huge fan of vinyl. Do I have some vinyl bags and things, project bags? Yes, I do. But I prefer just the all fabric situation. But I'm going to be using this for my mini Christmas ornament projects. And but yeah, I really love this. In fact, I loved it so much I ordered a second one. And I will put her information down below in the details. So I wanted to share that as well. Next up will be my 2026 plans. I like kind of doing a goal every year because it kind of helps me determine what kind of things I like to do, that kind of thing. So for 2026, I have decided to pick 26 whips. Actually, it's a little bit more. It was hard for me to kind of whittle it down. Well, with the previous whips that I showed, because I'm going to work on those as well, because that's part of my 2026 plans. So probably 30, 35-ish, maybe. And that doesn't include Christmas. I love Christmas. I still have a little bit of the Christmas stitching bug, so I picked probably 18 or so Christmas whips. That includes ornaments and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the Christmas Christmas side of things. I previously showed the Cardinal ornaments by Stitching with the Housewives that I'll be doing. I'm also going to be working on these roundabouts, these snowman roundabouts. She released those in 2025. I didn't get very much started on that, but that is what I'll be working on. That'll be part of my goal. These next ones I didn't pull out because I only had a few stitches in each, but this was released in October 2025. So I'll be working on these. These are the Santas by Stitching with the Housewives. Also, that came out in October 2025 were these roundabouts. And I already have the finishing pieces picked out for these. And again, I just have a few stitches on the first ornament for these 3 sets. Actually, all of the sets I did with snowmen too, but that was just right here for me to show. But this also came out, these were the July ornaments or roundabouts. And that is part of my Christmas whip plans. I also will be finishing up the gingerbread man. I'm gonna probably finish this as an ornament. I just think he is the cutest thing. And I'm gonna finish him as an ornament. So here's the front. There's the back. It can be a sewing book. It is one of the classes that I did take for the Jingle Ball, but he has made the list. These next few projects are I finished stitching this. I'm going to be making a pillow. I am going to make, I'm not sure if I'm going to make an ornament, but I'm going to finish stitching this up here and maybe make some kind of like Merry Christmas or Happy Holiday or Joy or Noel or something like that, to make that into an ornament or a small pillow. But I did, I am going to be making, this is complete. I finished stitching this in 2006, but I'm going to be making this into a pillow for Christmas. My next work in progress is called Emma's Friends. I'm not making this into a stocking. I think I'll be making this into a pillow as well. And this is my progress on him, or her rather, Emma. I love the Cardinal down here. I also have a start on this. I am making it's the gift bearing teddy. I'm going to make this into a pillow. I still need to do some back stitch on the teddy bear. And then I did take out some of the plaid that was down here. That was part of the stocking. I wasn't completely done with this, but I took out part of this. I'm going to widen the plaid parts and kind of make it a more narrow pillow. But that is the gift bearing teddy, which will be made into, it was a stocking that's going to be made into a pillow. One of my next Christmas whips, I think I've stated previously in this video and also in other videos that I collect nativity Christmas stockings and I stitch them. I'm not sure why I've started it, but I have started this, and it's a Dimensions Gold kit, and this is my progress. And I would like to finish stitching that. My next work in progress, Christmas, is the Christmas jar ornaments. And this kit came with plastic canvas. It was a 14 count plastic canvas, and I was not a fan of that. So I did mine on a 14 count Ada. I still have to do the back stitch, but all 4 of these are stitched, and it wouldn't take long to get the back stitch done and then get those fully finished. So that is on my list to get done. I have another set of ornaments. This is from 2020. These were released, was part of the holidays with Housewives. This is what they look like. It did come with a bonus pattern, which I don't think that I'm going to stitch. It was, you know, they had the cup series, and it was a gingerbread that was in a cup. So I don't think I'm going to be stitching those, but I'm stitching mine on a 14 count chalkboard Ada, and then this is the start of the gingerbread house. I would like to get these 4 ornaments completed. It's on my to-do list. The next, these 4 ornaments are from Hands On Design. Counting them kind of as a set because it uses a pack of color and cotton, and it is Père Noël, and then also Oh Christmas 3. And here is my minimal start on Père Noël. And again, the patterns call for color and cotton, and then the pack, you could order the pack. I think you still can order the pack. I don't know if you have to go directly to Color and Cotton or if there are other stores that offer that. But that pack, it's enough to stitch all 3 all 4 pattern, or all 4 ornaments. My next one up, this was in July of 2025. These are Ornaments by Stitching with Housewives. And I finished the first one. It was Frosty's Cafe, and I picked out a basalt splash fabric, but then I realized it probably isn't going to be all snowmen, which was fine. And so I'm going to finish the other, there was a bonus chart that came with it. So the other 4 will be finished on, I think this is a Monaco. I think it's a 28 count Monaco that I had in my stash. And then also, I didn't get this done, even though I have the finishing piece for this. It was one of my favorite stitches, but I just think it turned out so beautiful, or is turning out so beautiful. And there's where I'm at. I haven't stitched anything on it since the last time I showed that. And then this one, I'm considering it part of my holiday, only because, well, I love it. It's called Falling Snow, and this is my start. And I'm using Floss Beef to 200. And I don't believe that I had any additional stitches since the last time I showed this piece either. And then the final Christmas whip that I'm going to be working on, it is Jack Frost Tree Farm by Little House Needleworks. This is the one, this will be the next one I'm starting. And then this is the one that I finished, it's the part 1. And I believe this is on a 20 count beige Petit-Point fabric. So that's where that's at. My next whips in progress are just kind of regular stitches. I was kind of organizing and going through some of my stuff. This definitely is not all of my whips, but it was hard for me to kind of pick 26. So I picked probably around 30. That doesn't include my previous whips that I've shown. I'm definitely going to be working on the previous whips, like the Lady of the Flag, the Fox and Rabbit 2025 stitch along piece, some of those new starts that I've started. My birthday start is definitely on that list, but I'm not going to show those again because I did actually stitch on those. But some of these that I haven't stitched on in a while, I am going to be kind of pulling out and definitely having it in some kind of rotation. I'm really not sure how I'm going to do that or work on that next year. But the first one up is Carolyn Manning Ruby. This is so pretty. And I have another one, and I ran across this and I was like, I'm not gonna start another one until I finish one. And so I would really like to get this finished because I have another one I would like to get started. But this is actually a very relaxing stitch, and but it's really pretty. It's full coverage. I did it on 14 count charcoal Ada. That way it didn't, like, I felt like if I used the white, it would kind of show through the stitches and things. So I chose the chalkboard Ada. Again, full coverage, so there's no quarter stitches, back stitching, or anything like that, but it's actually a very relaxing stitch. My next whip, I started this with my friend Tara. It's Ann Tong Uffendale, 1835. And I'm only going to be stitching this top part up here because I want to stitch a couple of other samplers. And this is my start. I haven't worked on this since I started it, but this is my start. And this one has been calling me, so I would like to kind of get back to it. This is another one. I've also considered, because some of these pieces I already know the finishes I'm going to do, but I have an alternate finish in mind for Indigo Lane, and I would like to get this finished. My goal is to also do this little box in the back, but I'm started off with this. And I changed up the colors, I think a little slightly, I can't remember, but I'll have to go over that when I actually get it finished. But it is, it's really pretty. Love the blues, love the pattern, and I'm excited for the finish that I have in mind for that. My next whip that made the cut for 2026 is The Winter Is Past. It's by Blackbird. And I have a minimal start on this as well. And again, these whips that I'm pulling out, I have not stitched on for a very long time. I don't know if I stitched on some of these in 2025, probably early 2025. I can't honestly remember, but hopefully it'll get some love in 2026. This one, I love this. It's the Queen of the May for 2025. It's Elizabeth Stevenson, 1854, and I'm changing the colors on this. I'm making it blue. Blue is one of my I gravitate more to blues and greens. I love all colors, but I just thought that this sampler would be beautiful in blues. So I did, this is my own color conversion, and I'm really enjoying the stitch. It's going to be a big girl. This is actually, you know, the width of the sampler, and but I'm looking forward to getting back to that. I love the linen that I chose. I like how it's starting to stitch up, and I really enjoy working on her, so I want to get back to stitching her. Another whip that I have going on that I am anxious to get back to, and I know I didn't stitch on this at all in 2025, and it's the Cornwall Cottage Sampler by Rosewood Manor. This is really pretty, and this is my progress. So I would really like to get back to that. I also really like this alphabet. It's Fleur de Alphabet by JBW Designs. And I changed up the colors. I kind of went, I don't know. I was in a cross-stitch shop and I had picked up this fabric, and then I saw that pattern and I thought, you know, I think I'm going to kind of coordinate with the color. I just thought it was a good combination. I think this is Manor Red and Calico Kitty that I'm using. And I can't remember the linen, but once I get a little bit more progress on that, I can share the linen. The next whip is Forget Me Not by Blackbird Designs, and this is my progress. And again, I don't believe I stitched on this in 2025. If I did, it was probably January, February, but I think it was just a start from 2024. This, I have loved this for such a long time, and it is Winter Rose Manor. And I put mine on a wintry blue. So this is my start, and that is where I'm at. But I did mine because Winter Rose Manor, I just felt like it needed a wintry background, and then that is the fabric that I chose. So that is part of the whip lineup. I really enjoy Teresa Kogut, and I started this probably the year that this came out. It's been a few years, but it is the Newcastle Bouquet. I'm gonna do the border and everything. I love the red birds. I just love everything about this. And I think I saw, I can't remember the Instagram person, but I saw her finish and I'm like, you know, I have that. I'm gonna pull that out and work on that a little bit. So this is my minimal start. And, but I'm looking forward to just working on that. Actually, I'm looking forward to working on all of these. I wish I had like 100 hours in the day and I would be able to, you know, stitch to my heart's content. The next WIP in progress, I think it's called Autumn Beauties. It was from several years ago, I think 21-ish, probably 2021, 2020, I don't know, somewhere around in there. And this is my progress. I would like to get this finished, and I'll probably make either a flat fold or a pillow out of this, but that is where I'm at with Autumn Beauties. This particular pattern, I have a finishing piece in mind for this. It's baskets and butterflies. And I don't believe that I stitched any more on this since the last time I showed it. And I think the last time I showed it, the border was complete and I had started on basically the flower bouquet. Some piece of lint on this. But anyway, this is where it's at. So that made the cut because it's kind of a smaller piece and I just thought that it would be a good, just a good thing to work on. This next one is a Sarah Welsh 1764. And I have a minimal start. This was part of my sampler September in 2024. It was also part of the 24 starts in 2024. So I have a very minimal start on this. But I would really like to get back to that and get that completed. Okay, I'm back. My stack just fell off the table. But anyway, I love the Scarlet House and Roses for Ruby. I really, when I was stitching on this, I really enjoyed it. And I would really like to get back to this one as well. I don't believe I stitched on this at all in 2025, but this is my corner start. But she's very pretty. And I would like to get back to her as soon as possible. My next stitch, I love the flowers, as I've said previously. And I couldn't wait for this Julia Rachel de la Mare 1849 to come out. And I have a very minimal start on this as well. And there it is. And I think that was part of my sampler September for 2025. So it was a very minimal start for that. Then I also have another Rosewood Manor. This was Flowers of the Quaker. And this is my minimal start. I think I worked a very minimal. I think I basically finished that flower. I think I started it in I started it in 2024. Did a few stitches at a retreat, but not enough probably really to show, but I did work on that a little bit. My next WIP that I'm going to work on in 2026 is the Vintage Cats by Teresa Kogut. However, I'm doing mine in purples. And this is my start. And I did not stitch any more on that either. This piece is Cooper by Kathy Barrick. I can't remember the floss tuber that I saw stitching this, but I thought he was so cool. And I've already picked up a frame for him, and I would really like to get him finished. So I think maybe that might be my strategy, is to go through the pieces that I picked and pick out the ones that I know how I'm going to finish, or have the finishing pieces, whether it's a frame or an alternate finish, and work on those and get those done and get them on display. But this is my progress. I did not stitch on Cooper at all in 2025, but here he is. This design is by Designworks. It was a kit. It had 4 different cats. The artist was, I think, Marilyn Robertson. And these are old, and I have a particular finish in mind. I already have the other 3 done, and then this is just the progress that I had. I started in the middle, and the reason for that is because I wanted to work down and get into some of the colors. So I started in the middle, and yeah, so that's the story with that. But I would like to get this cat done, and then finish all 4 up as planned. The next one, I started this at a retreat in 2025. It's called Celebration. And I just love working on this. I mean, you wouldn't think I did, because I haven't made any progress on this, because I kind of got sidetracked. But this is the corner, top of the roof, over at the top of the roof of the White House. And that's where I'm at with that. And I would like to work on that, make some progress in 2026. I also have a finish in mind for this. It's called Painted Flowers. It is part of a SAL that I'm doing with Kim, the Contented Needleworker Kim. I don't know why, Kim, I introduced you that way. But anyway, it's with the Contented Needleworker Kim. There is a thread. You can message her, and you're more than welcome to be part of the group. You don't, if you've already finished it or almost finished or haven't started it, there's no rules or anything like that. But I did get the kit from the Keepsakes, their colorway, and I have not stitched on this since the last time I showed this, but I just think this is beautiful. So I do have an alternate finish in mind other than a pillow, and so I'm looking forward to getting back to stitching on that. And then my final whip that I would like to work on is the Midnight in the Garden by Sampler Cove. And this is being stitched on Prehistoric by Fox and Rabbit, and then the silk pack came from Vicki Clayton Silks. I'm not sure if you can get the pattern or the silks anymore, but I did purchase, when I purchased the pattern, and again, it was a few years ago, it was from 123 Stitch. And I did not do any stitches in 2025 on this. But I pulled this out because Tara wanted to see what I was working on that particular fabric, because she had just purchased Prehistoric. So I would like to get back to that, because the combination of the Vicki Clayton silks and the pattern and the fabric, it's very cool. I love it. So I think that about covers all of my whips. So my goals, again, for 2026 is basically working on these few whips that I have pulled out, both Christmas and non-Christmas stitches. And we'll see what my progress is by the end of the year. It'd be very cool if I could at least get them finished stitching them, if not fully finished. I also had a couple other goals. Since I was organizing and going through some of my stuff, I ran across some previous stitches that I've completed, and I would like to get those fully finished. So my goal, also in tandem with working on my whips in progress, I would also like to basically get through my finished, the the stitches that I have that aren't fully finished. And I've already made a list, and I'll just kind of, I mark them off as I get them fully finished, and I'll be showing them throughout 2026. And hopefully by the end of 2026, they'll be completely done. So that would be very cool. And then also I am going to do a no spend month for 4 months. They don't have to be consecutive months, but 4 months out of 2026, there'll be a no spend. So that of course doesn't apply to like if I finished a stitch and I need to get something framed or something. So if I need, but it basically applies to patterns, fabric, basically patterns and fabric. So anyway, so that is, I guess, the roundup for that, and hopefully we'll see how I do. I'll do a recap at the end of the year to see what my progress is. And then also I wanted to mention the giveaway again. Just mention Bauble in your comment and you'll be entered in the drawing for the Jingle Ball Bauble for 2025. So hopefully that'll be something somebody would be interested in receiving. And again, you have to be over the age of 18. And yeah, so let me know, and or just add the comment Bauble and I will send this out. So there is that. And in the next week or so, I'm going to a stitch day, and I'm going to be meeting up with Tara and Lori from Mud Creek Stitcher. So I think we're going to be working on a FlossTube. So I look forward to meeting with them and getting, you know, just having a stitchy day with stitchy friends, and that'll be fun. But otherwise, I don't have any other plans other than to, you know, stitch to my heart's content on all of these cool projects that I've pulled, and that will be my plan for 2026. So anyway, I hope everybody, again, as I mentioned earlier, had a great holiday, happy new year, and I will see you in a few weeks. Bye.